All right, so you're close here, but there's a couple of things that you need, that you're lacking, that you need to get right. Check those out. First, to start, I think your start is a little too dynamic, meaning that you like sit or like pull hard or swing your legs into an L sit instead of getting like good connection with your lats and pulling yourself into a hollow body position instead of an L sit. I'll kind of show you what I mean by that right here. Go on full motion. See how you snap right there? Should be a little bit controlled getting it. Should be the first initial L sit. Should just be legs up, smooth. And see how you're right there? You just lifted your legs and you're directly below the ring still. It should be like this. Like arms there and then that way. Instead of like you are, you're pretty much there and there. Okay, so like engage your lats and get your body behind the rings, but the rings stay there, if that makes some sense. That's the first thing. What that's going to do is going to gain you a little more tension, because you can see that even at your best, like what you would say is global flexion here, is you're still directly below the rings. The rings need to be out in front of you. Okay, so rings in this position should be like there still. That'll help quite a bit. Okay, that's the first thing to focus on. Number 2, in the back here, you're really broken. You need to turn your palms out or facing the wall in front of you, and you're broken here. You're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Huh. Stupid. Anyways, you're kind of like this. You're kind of like, and it should be, can I draw this quickly? There we go. And it should be like this. We'll do it in red. It should be like that. So sweeping back towards the wall behind you. As you come through, this is actually pretty good. You can be delayed a little bit, but you'll gain a lot more tension from those first 2 things I was talking about. Then here, coming through, you're a little bit sitting in the chair. Meaning, look at your lower body is kind of broken that way. And now you should be back to your original starting of global flexion. It should be like that. So yeah, you will be broken here at the hip, but not at the knees. So what the result is, your hips do go up nicely, but they're a little bit, you just don't have enough force there. And this is right here. So this is the high, as high as you're getting your hips. Right there. It's as high as your hips get. We draw a line on the bottom of the rings and where your hips are. Somehow you've got to get your hips above the rings. They've got to come to up on top of the rings. So you either need to pull yourself up and around on top of the rings, or you need to continue to drive your hips over the rings. And where you're laid out and so flat like this, without your hips above the rings, it's just not going to happen. You can see now your hips fall below that line that I drew where your hips are. Your hips need to stay right there for that time, or they need to get up a little bit higher. That's the only way you're getting it over the rings. Okay, so really focus on those first two parts. Let's get it in slow-mo. I'll put that in fast.